Question Lane. Solving problems through the process of questions and answers.
The last thing I want to talk about here is politics.
Mm-hmm.
I know your opinion on politics, as we spoke about it a little bit earlier, but what is your opinion on the reparations topic that a lot of these politicians are talking about now?
You get it from your mom. It's a hot topic. It's a waste of time, in my opinion. You're talking about a brutal, diabolical place that burned citizens who look like you, enslaved us for financial gain to build the economy of the country. And you are going to convince them through some intellectual conscience, to do the right thing, which is to compensate the group of people who they've wronged for hundreds of years. That shit ain't happening. These people are diabolical. What does that mean when you give them that power to begin with? And I just think it's a great intellectual topic that has no legs in this country, as this country exists in the form and the manner in which it currently exists.
So all of the candidates, from Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, etc., when they talk about reparations, is it safe to say that they're just using that as some type of ploy to get black people to consider voting for them? Or do you think they're sincere?
There's no way to tell how sincere they are. We don't know these people. They're pretty much celebrities who have a brand to protect, and that brand is their political viability. So who knows what their integrity is, but the question becomes, what are they doing besides saying they would do it to push that issue? And unless you put in a bill forward or you're doing something else, it's just a waste of time, in my opinion. You can't distinguish whether they're serious or not.
The way I distinguish it is I haven't seen any legislation and I haven't seen any budgets. So
it's a talking point.
So what would you suggest going forward with the 2020 election going on, coming up in the future? Would you suggest black people look at Democrats, not vote? What's your opinion on that?
Hold on, I'm sorry. You said, what was the last part of the question you said? Should they vote Democrat or Republican? I don't think any black person should be beholden to a particular political party. I think voting in general, we should take what, elders like Stokely Carmichael and Fred Hampton was utilizing with voting, which is it's an organizational tool. Certainly, you're talking about two parties that promulgate the same white supremacist principles. So I think you should definitely vote your intellect and your conscience, but you should have information to vote. And if you're only voting something or someone because of their party affiliation, I think that's, I think black people have enough in history to show how that doesn't necessarily work on our behalf.
I'm of the belief that, personally, if there's not a candidate who is offering solutions to solve, in part or as a whole, the problems specifically that black people face, that I don't believe voting would be a constructive use of my time. Is that an accurate use of logic, or is that something that I should reconsider?
Listen, no, I think that if that's where you're at this point in your life, I think that's well thought out. You're not the first person to think like that. And I think that comes with some intellect. I mean, the question becomes, what else are you doing to remove the social, political, economic, and academic alienation to our people. If you only see that through voting, then that's a limited way of looking at it. If you see that there's so many other things that you can influence or you can be a part of in changing the narrative, then you do that too. The thing is to do something. Whatever your paradigm you come up with is to do something, to be effective at something. I don't think voting is the end all or be all. No. Particularly when you're not grooming the people who you're voting for or the choices that you have to vote for, and those people aren't being groomed in your community. They don't have any accountability to your community. Cory Booker has no accountability to black people. Neither does Kamala Harris or any of these candidates of color. Neither did Obama. And they tell you that. First time they open their mouth, they're saying that, I want to be the president of all Americans, not just black people. So is that our leadership?
Well, according to Senator Mitch McConnell, he said the election of Barack Obama was our reparations, and we should be satisfied with that.
Well, fortunately, I don't give a damn what Mitch McConnell thinks about what happens to black people or where we're at or what's owed to us,
I agree. So, just to wrap up here, being calm, asking questions, journaling,
and holding people accountable, reporting them for the things that they're doing that they're not supposed to be doing, making a record of it. Because silence is a tool of oppression, so not being silent in the face of inequity.
So you talked about education. Books is something that I got into a little bit later after college, and I wish I would have read more while I was in college and while I was younger. But what are some books that you would suggest that would open up the minds of not only the youth, but just black people in general to learn about the system that we're in and give them the motivation to find solutions to counter the issues that we deal with?
There's a ton of them, man. I think any book by Chancellor Williams or John Clark or who else? Amos Wilson. Any book by Frantz Fanon, Wretched of the Earth in particular. Pedagogy of the Oppressed is another great book. Understanding the history and the importance of what we played in this American economy is a book called The Half That's Never Been Told by, I believe, Eric Baptiste.
Edward Baptist?
Yeah. There's a great new book. Eric, I think it's Eric, E-R-I-C. There's another great book of recent by a young brother. I can't remember his last name, but the name of the book is called Stamped from the Beginning. There's another great book that shows the history of this country. There's so many, I think it's sort of like what John Clark said also. Understand the history of white people. There's a great book by Nell Painter called The History of White People that really charts how whiteness even became, and particularly how it came in America. But really understanding your oppressor and your enemy is also well worth your time into trying to figure out who you're dealing with and how to combat some of these systemic things that we get so used to that we sometimes are frustrated on how to overcome them. There's so many different books.
Yeah, as I stated earlier, Neely Fuller Jr. book, the compensatory code system concept.
I got both volumes of that book.
Perfect. Also, the ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Wilson.
Yeah, it's another. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Black Wealth, White Wealth by Thomas Shapiro and Melvin Oliver. That's a book about wealth inequality. The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson talks about the migration from black people moving out of the South into the North. great book on that. And there's other books as well, but those are the ones that I would suggest for the listeners out there to think about where our history is. I mean, what our history is, what our positioning has been in this country, and to give us some suggestions about what to do going forward. So,
no, I agree.
So, is there any upcoming events, social media, or anything that you want to promote before we leave?
No, I don't want to promote too much. Just promote critical thinking and being aware. I have a ton of heavy stuff that I'm dealing with, from death penalty cases on down, and I'm just taking my time trying to figure things out and continue to be influenced by the world and well informed and to grow my perspective. And I wish everyone well. Freedom isn't free, and it's not an easy thing. You got to work towards it.
Yeah, as I said in my email, when I first heard your interview on Taxstone's podcast, it really motivated me to learn more about you and to get some more information about you. And I'm glad I had a conversation with you today.
Oh, me too, brother. I appreciate it. And if I'm ever down in Florida, I'll give you a call. And actually, You know what? Actually, there is something. I don't know if you're in the Miami area. Are you in the Miami area?
Originally, but I'm in the Tampa Bay area right now.
Oh, okay. For those in the Miami area, my brother is having a show, an art show at the in Overtown. It's a Hampton Art Lovers program, and the artist is Philip Moytuck Shung, and that's next week in Miami, actually.
What's the name of the event again?
It's the Hampton Art Lovers Show, and it's in Overton, Miami.
Overtown?
Yeah, Overtown, yep.
Yeah. Perfect. So if I'm ever in New York, I'll try to
give me a
reach
call,
out to you.
man. Definitely.
Perfect.
And it's been a pleasure.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay up to date for more videos by clicking the bell notification icon and following our social media. For any of the people, groups, companies, or videos that were referenced in this video, don't forget to check the description and or the pinned comment section. The question lane, solving problems through the process of questions and answers.